Hello students, welcome to this video. In this video, we'll review the Tickler system. You learned in Chapter 12 that a Tickler system is a method of controlling deadlines. It is used as a reminder and follow-up system. Every law office should have a system to control these deadlines. For your homework assignment, you are required to complete the text exercises, questions 3 through 4, at the end of Chapter 12. The main purpose of that assignment was to allow students the opportunity to practice how to use the calendars provided in the textbook to determine the due dates and mail dates. So let's review. First, let's address again how we determine the due dates. Before one can enter reminder dates, one must first determine the due dates. 3 dates are considered when determining due dates. One is the trigger date. This is the date a document was served or delivered, or the date it was mailed as indicated on a proof of service of mail form. 2, the due date. This is the date a document is due. If a due date falls on a holiday or weekend, the due date is the next business date. 3, this is the date a document must be mailed to reach its destination by the due date. When counting days to determine the due date of a document, the first day is excluded and the last day is included. The first day after the trigger, including holidays and weekends, is the first day counted, and the due date is the last day counted. Now, if the due date falls on a holiday or weekend, the due date is going to be the next business date. What about determining reminder dates? For documents to be completed on time, reminder dates must be integrated into a document system to remind an attorney and a paralegal that action is required on a file. There are 4 reminder dates. The reminder date itself, you have the urging date, the warning date, and the alert date. But we are only going to address the reminder date, not the other 3 dates. Again, this is the first of a series of reminders that a deadline is approaching. It is the least urgent of the reminders. Let's talk about entering your reminder dates. Types of projects may require different types of time intervals, thereby more reminder dates. There are no specific rules that govern reminder date intervals. Yet the rule of thumb about reminder date is scheduled on an average of 10 to 14 days before the due date. Placing your reminder dates at the appropriate interval gives a legal team the necessary time to complete a project. Also, be mindful of holidays and weekends. Time intervals between reminder dates must be adjusted to accommodate those holidays, the weekends, and other events. A reminder date cannot be on a weekend or a holiday. It should be entered on the next business day. Okay, come on, let's practice. Pull out your assignment and take a look at those practice problems. Let's start with problem A, the Masters versus Ledford problem, where this client was personally served with summons and a complaint on October 23rd. Her answer is due in 30 calendar days. So let's calculate the due date. Starting at October the 23rd as our trigger date. Start counting the date after the trigger date, which is October the 24th. This means the trigger date is not counted. Now you add 30 days. That would make it what? Let's count and see. That would make it November the 22nd. Hey, here is a shortcut. In your Chapter 12 Learning Module folder, you should have been able to utilize the docket calculation chart. Let's use that. remember, we are mailing the answer. So what does that mean? Remember, the mail date is the date a document must be mailed to reach its destination by the due date. The average time frame is 3 days. Should be set aside for mailing. Okay, now what was that due date? The 22nd? Yes, that's correct. So now back up a few days and make sure the document arrives before the holiday. Mail date? Again, count backwards. 3 steps. 22nd, 21, 20th. Now the reminder date. 7 to 10 days prior to the due date, and do not count the weekends. So 10 days makes it November the 9th. Okay, let's try one more. Look at B. Let's start with the trigger date. The proof of service by mail shows an October the 25th date. Again, that is your trigger date. The answer is due in 30 days. Okay, now what do? You know what to do. Calculate 30 days. Start with October the 26th as the first day. You ready? Let's count. $30 days later is November the 24th. Wait a minute. That's a holiday. What do? Well, for this one, we're going to skip the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, which is a Sunday, and go to the next business day, which is Monday, November the 27th. This is going to be our due date. Now let's compare this with the docket calculation chart. Let's see. Here it says the due date is November the 25th. But remember that this chart does not account for the weekends or holidays. So we're still going to have to take a look at the calendar. Okay, what's next? We need to mail the answer. So how do we calculate this? Let's try backing up 3 days from the due date. Counting the due date. So we go 27th, 26th, 25th. Oh no, that's a holiday weekend. We're not going to risk it. We got to go back further. So let's go back to where? To the 22nd. Why? Before everyone takes off for the holiday break. You need to get those documents in the mail beforehand, as early as possible. Just think about it. Do you know a lot of people who would volunteer to work late the day before a holiday weekend? Probably not. So get it done early before everyone bails out of the office. Let's throw in a reminder. Count back 10 days from our due date. Skip in the weekends and the holidays. Did you get November the 14th? Yep, that's it. You are correct. Yay, we did it. Here are a few more tips for a couple of the remaining problems. Problem D, since the due date is less than 11 days, do not count the weekends. Problem H, be sure to count the weekends. I know this is a bit tedious, but just take your time and slow down and review back over the rules for due dates, mail dates, and reminders in this chapter. Go back and look at the sample problems as well as the assignment problems and recalculate In closing, remember, if a law office is using a computer Tickler system, this system would alert them of the dates that are holidays or weekends. Why is this important? Because it is related to the statute of limitations. As we are all aware, monitoring statutes of limitations is extremely important. Again, if a statute of limitations is missed, a client is prohibited from proceeding. We must also use reminder dates of opposing parties. A document that is due from an opposing party must be documented to alert an attorney of a possible default or failure to respond. Note that there are several other important dates and events that one may have been reminded of, and this will all depend on the type of office and the circumstances. So students, thank you for watching. I hope this video assists you. I'll see you in the next video. Till next time, this is your legal instructor, TaQuita Hogan-Claiborne, wishing you well.